domains are to traffic, so it's called delayed. Okay. Anyway, okay. So did everyone complete the ACRF and the specification writing for at least 3 domains? Or still anybody's doing?
So I did TRF, but spec writing is good.
So నేను spec writing చేయాలి సార్. Okay, Jamil, right? So pending. Okay, fine. And then going laptop issue ఉంది సార్, అందుకని అవ్వలేదు సార్ అది. Yeah, daily 1 hour చేసేస్తాం సార్. Yeah. Okay. So and who else?
Amulya sir, even I will do specs today.
Okay, great. So,
I did spec for 2 domains sir. One is domain.
Okay, yeah. Yes, Sampath.
సార్ సంపత్ అది ప్రాక్టీస్ నిన్న ఈవినింగ్ కనెక్ట్ అయ్యాను సార్ సర్వర్.
అచ్చా, ఓకే.
నేను స్టార్ట్ చేశాను ఏఈ ఒక 1 or 2 days నేను కంప్లీట్ చేసేస్తాను సార్.
ఓకే ఓకే.
1 hour ఎక్స్ట్రా కేటాయించాను.
చూడండి, ఎందుకంటే కొన్నిసార్లు ఎలా ఉంటుంది అంటే లైక్ ఈ టైంలో ప్రాక్టీస్ చేసిన తర్వాత చేసినా కూడా యూజ్లెస్ ఉంటుంది. అందుకని చెప్తాను, ఎందుకంటే మీరు ప్రోగ్రామింగ్ స్టార్ట్ చేసిన తర్వాత లేటర్ ఇది చేస్తా అంటే అది వర్కౌట్ అవ్వదు. ఓకే సో ఓకే సార్. ఓకే ఓకే ఫైన్ దెన్. ఓకే ఎనీవే, సో ఎవరైతే స్పెక్ ఆల్రెడీ అండ్ ACRF 3 డొమైన్స్ కి కంప్లీట్ చేశారో దట్స్ ఫైన్. రిమైనింగ్ స్టార్ట్ చేయండి. సో ద ఐడియా ఇస్ టు కంప్లీట్ ఈచ్ అండ్ ఎవ్రీ డొమైన్ ఆఫ్ ద స్టడీ. Okay, so when you are annotating any intervention or finding, if you have any doubts, so don't hesitate, you can ask with me or other trainer. Okay. So the back end, once you start the programming, you can practice the programming as well as the specification, the ACRF. Okay, so don't think it that way. So we have completed the specification and the ACRF. Okay, so you need to complete everything and then show it to me. Okay. Yeah, okay. So we'll start the programming activities today. So before that, okay, let me share my screen first. Okay, so so can anyone confirm or able to see my screen?
Yes sir, it's
Yes, sir. Okay, great. Fine. So now, so we have already read the protocol and then we done the CRF annotation and the specification writing. So these are the activities we have completed. At least we know the things, what is the requirement for the programming. Okay, at this moment. So I hope everyone is clear these 3 topics, right? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, great. So now, so when you have assigned for the programming activities, so what you need to do from here and is that I'll explain a little bit, okay, and then we'll move to the programming. So whenever you have been assigned for any domain or any programming, first of all you need to check the few things. Okay, first and most important thing is that, okay, any study if you are assigned, each and every study you have the programming tracker. Okay, the real timing. So the programming tracker. So the programming tracker, what it contains means, okay, so who are working for this study, so is the lead programmer, who is the support programmer, who is the lead statistician, who is the lead support statistician or the support statistician, and then who is the SBR. Okay, so senior bias start review. Okay, who is the oversight. Okay, if there are any complex studies or if the lead program is having the less exposure, that time the oversight also will be assigned as a senior peer review. Okay, so these are the things will be available in the programming tracker. So once you open the tracker, you can filter your name and then you can check as the production and the QC side. So in general, it's not a hard and fast rule. Generally, one person can assign the production side, the same person cannot assign for the QC side of the some of the organization due to some macro restrictions. So the why? Because in this, there are few organizations they'll give the access also even the only one side. Okay, why one side means actually when you are working as a programmer, okay, so you cannot open opposite programmer program. So for example, if you are a production programmer, you cannot see the QC programmer program. If you are a QCer, you cannot see the production programmer program. It's a kind of crime. I can say in the normal language, it's a crime. So, okay, you think that like, who will find and who will ask. Okay, there are few companies. If you, the first of all, it will restrict the access. Okay, but some of the organizations won't restrict. Okay, but they will track the things. Okay, but some of the organizations they won't track, they won't restrict. But it's up to you, your ethics. You don't check the other program as a programmer. Okay, these are the things. Okay, so why? Because we are doing the 2-way programming. Means the same domain the production programmer is developing and as well as the other programmer is validated. Okay, so it means actually the thing is that the same. Okay, to avoid the discrepancies and the mismatches and then to avoid the mistakes, that's why we are doing the 2-way programming. So even from the client side, we are billing, as an organization, they are billing for the both programmers for the same domain. So they are doing the 2-way programming and the validation. Okay, so that's why actually it's the important thing that don't open the other programs. If you doesn't know, if you are a new and then the domain is a bit complex, nothing to worry. You can ask the lead programmer. Still you are not comfortable, you can ask any support programmer who are in the study. So I'm unable to understand this logic. You can straight away go and ask, but don't copy other programmers' program or something like that. Okay. So this is one and important thing you should. There is some certain instances in the real time. So some of the programmer, they copied piece of the program from the other programmer, they have terminated without any discussion. Immediately they'll call and then they'll take the laptop and all assets from you and then terminate simply. Sometimes they don't give the experience letter as well. So okay, that much crime is it is okay. But is this following every company? No. But okay, the simple thing is that actually, so the crime is crime. Someone is saying or not, the crime is crime still, right? So it's up to you. Okay. Why I'm saying this is the important thing. So no one taught you in the outside, but this is the scenarios. Okay. Please make sure that this is the habit when you're practicing. You need to practice. Okay. If you doesn't know, no worries. You can ask anyone. You can ask the programming support also. That's fine. But don't copy. Don't see the other programs. That is the important thing. Okay. Fine. Okay. And one more thing. If you are unable to understand, you can check with the lead. Validation programmer as well. So you're unable to understand the logic, okay? So you can go and check with that, okay? I'm unable to understand this logic, okay? Or else I have, this is the assumption for this logic. Is this correct or not? You can ask. That's fine. Okay, that's not an issue. Okay, fine. Why? Because there is a team or the lead programmer. They will review your programs as well when they will get the time. Okay, so it should not be the same as your other programmer's program. Okay, but because everyone don't write the same program, right? Obviously, there should be a different way. So if you write macros, I'll write SQL, you'll write data step, some other people write do loops. It depends on your capability, it depends on your comfort and everything. Okay, fine. So now it comes to the, okay, so when you're assigned some particular domains, first thing is that actually what you need to check is the tracker. So you have been assigned for the so-and-so programs. Okay, so you are the responsible, let's assume the production programmer. Okay, so first what you need to check that, okay, go and check the whether protocol is there or not. Okay, you need to check and then you need to read it, protocol first. Okay, and then check for the ACRF. Okay, and then ACRF, the next DM annotated CRF. Okay, so the DM annotated CRF is nothing but, I said, right? So for the raw variable relation. Okay, so anyway, that is mentioned in the spec, but as a programmer, you need to check the each and every aspect. Okay, it doesn't mean that I have a 10 years experience. I did the ACRF annotation, I did the specification. It is 100% correct. I also did mistakes. So it's your responsibility to check that as a programmer. So once you assign for the one domain, so you are responsible to check all those things. Okay, that's the one thing. So once everything is documents in place, okay, so then go and start with the programming. Okay. So for actually here the setup need to done, because even I don't have the permissions to create some folders and everything. Okay, so I will set up down the line by this weekend. I'll create and set up for everything so that you can practice for the next week as a real-time work. But until you can practice your respective folders. Okay, so okay, sorry, data sets. Okay. So now tell me, is there anyone knows what is the programming order? So which data sets needs to create first and which data set needs to later? Can anyone say?
First demographics.
Okay, the first of all demographics. Then what next?
Exposure data set.
And then what next?
Adverse event.
And then what are the data sets which we create at the end?
Disposition.
Disposition data set.
No. No, supplementaries we can create it straight away. When we create the parent domain, we will create the supplementary at the same time.
S is a subject element.
That's correct. Subject elements in the SV, subject visits. Okay, these are the two domains which is depending on the other domains. Which these are the derived domains which we not. These are the domains we cannot capture the information direct from the CRF. Okay, this is the derived information from the existing domains. Okay, so the first of all we'll create the demographics. Okay, so for the demographics also we required the multiple information. For example, exposure information, disposition information. Okay, the subject demographics, which means we require some 3 to 4 raw data sets. Okay, so from that we will create the first DM. Okay, DM is the first. Okay, and the next, okay, for the visit, SV program, there is a two-way. Okay, some of the organization what they will do first after DM they will create SV subject visits from the all raw data sets. Okay, but some of the organization what they will do first they will create the DM and later the all domains. Okay, so and at the end subject visits and the subject elements. Okay, so if we create the subject visit at the end, okay, what they will do, they will create one more intermediate data set. It's not a SDTM submission data set. For their own purpose, they will create one subject visit related intermediate data set. So that data set will have all the visits. Why? Because when we are working on the interventions or finding domains, okay, we require some visit wise information. So we need to populate the visit variables. Okay, visit num, visit dy. So where we will get this thing from? The obviously SV. So we are doing we are creating the SV at the end. So we require these information, right? That's why what they'll do, they will create one intermediate data set. They'll keep it name as their convenience. It's not a standard thing. For the in-house process, they will create the SV intermediate domain as at the starting level. So the basically concept is after DM, you need to create visit-related data set. Either SV you can create or else SV intermediate. Okay. So these are the things. Then the later is up to you. So why? Because the other domains which is not interrelated something. Okay. And the rel rec also will create at the end. Why? Because you are going to correlate the two SDTM domains. So it means you need those domains or get it done. Okay. So the next, what else? A subject element. Subject element is also what is derived data set. It will have the element as well as the epoch information. Okay. So you can say that, okay, for example, we have some finding domains epoch variable, right? How we can derive. Okay. So for the epoch, what they'll do actually, there's a two process. Okay. So the subject elements we will create at the end. So what they will do, they will create one macro. Why? Because the epoch logic would be the irrespective of domain, entire study is the same logic, right? So now what they'll do, they'll create one macro. So at the end, once you've done the all programming, they'll run those macro. So it will automatically populate the all epoch variable wherever it's required. Okay. So initially when you are doing the program, you will keep it as a blank. Okay, so you will keep it as a blank for those variables. Okay, later it will populate. This is one way. So some other people, what they can do is that, okay, they don't use this macro. They will write the scratch program in each and every domain for their own purpose. Okay, for that we have certain things, and then I'll explain later when we are working on the SC or something like that. So I'll take one class for the entire epoch thing and as well as the subject elements. Okay, you came to know that. Fine. So now we are going to discuss today adverse event. Okay. So you can ask that one. We need to create the DM first, right? So, but actually, okay, I'll take the DM the next week. Okay. So for the programming practice purpose, I have you need to understand the first one-to-one logic and all these things. So this is the right domain which you can start at this moment. Okay. So that's why I have started AE. So in the AE also we required some of the variables from the DM. So obviously, so that is there already. It's SDTM data set we have. So DM also SDTM DM also we have. We can practice. Okay, without any interruption. Okay. So fine. Production and QC different way. So some people based on their resource management, they'll assign the production as well as the QC. Okay. Copy of okay. Okay, so fine. Whenever you start the programming, so first you need to create a programming header. So this is anyway you can copy from any other study or any other programmers from that is fine. Other some leads they'll assign, they'll keep it one document for the programming header. It depends. So what it concerns the programming header, the project information. Okay, so what is the project name, protocol number, project code, study drug, and the project root path. Okay, this the root path is nothing but your directory. So what is your program name, and then brief description if you. So what is that the data set? Okay. And the request number is nothing but the in-house related ID, so that's fine. So author means who is the programmer. Okay, so if you are the production, you are doing that. Okay, you can write your name as well as the QC folder. You can write your respective QC. Okay, so creation date. When you are initially created this program, that date you need to enter. Okay, so the version you can enter. Why version is that? Okay, sometimes later they will do some migrations. Okay, there are few forms and there are few fields additionally added, remove. So sometimes what they will do, they'll archive the existing programs and then they'll modify the other programs if there are any huge changes. If there are any one or two changes, that's fine. Okay, if the huge changes, they'll do that. So in that way, we can add it as a version. Okay. So the SaaS version means which SaaS version you are using. It's a 9.4 or like enterprise guide, depends. Okay. The operating system means some companies will do this one, not only Unix, right? Yeah. So Unix background, okay, they'll do. Okay, most of the companies will do. So I guess the TCS is using for the Unix. Okay. So for the Unix, you'll have some commands. So when you want to log in for the each and every project, each and every program, you need to write some commands in the Unix. So don't take any unnecessary pressure. You don't need to learn the Unix or something like that. It's a one-day job. Okay. If you join for the any organization, they are using the Unix. They will give one and a half training session. So why? Because everyone is not using the Unix. Okay, for that we don't need to learn the entire Unix language. Okay, there are few commands: how to launch the SaaS, how to open the program, how to save the program, okay, how to run the program. There are 5-6 commands. So that you will anyway learn in the I think 5 to 10 minutes. Okay. So here the change control information is nothing but modification. Why? Because modification history is very, very important. Okay. So as a programmer, you need to update the modification history every time. For example, this is the program some X person is created. Okay. So later the same person can update for the any reason. There might be data updation, the initial programming assumption is wrong. So for the due to any other reasons, we have keep on changing our programs updates. Okay. So for that time, you need to update the modification history. Okay. So who is updating the program? So if you are your absence, the other program also is working, then they'll update their name, the request number is not required here, and the date and the reason why you are updating. That is the important thing. Okay, so you are updating the program is if there is a reason, so you need to mention the reason here. Okay, this is the program header. Okay, so here what happened actually, there are few macros used in this project. Okay, so this is the project I think Narendra has taken from other sources, I guess. Okay, even I'm new to this project. Okay, even I don't know the entire things for this project, but no worries. Okay, what I will do this Saturday, Sunday, I'll sit and then set up everything. Okay, so the Saturday, Sunday, I will you can use these macros. I'll explain these macros. I first of all I need to go through those macros. Okay, so why? Because those are the macros for new to me. So why? Because these are macros I didn't write as these are from other sources. Okay. So I'll explain. So, but I can understand what it does. Okay. So the clean, generally, the clean means when you starting. Why? Because each and every program when you open, so if there are any already existing asset libraries, existing data sets. Okay. So those are the things which is cleaned. Okay. That's why this macro will work. Okay. So when you run this macro, already existing libraries, domains, and everything will be deleted. SaaS session would be clean. So why? Because there are some formats still back and run. So there are some macros still back and run. So that will interrupt your process. That's why. Okay, there are here the header visit and then the ISO UNKDA. I think these are the macros for the ISO 8601 format date purpose. Okay, so the data is captured from the one format in the raw data. So we need to convert in the SDTM ISO 8601 format, right? You know everyone, right? ISO 8601. So how it looks like? The data how it looks like? Then? Okay. Yeah. So and then the hours, minutes, and the seconds, right? So that is the completed. So is it required for the seconds? No. Then the why they keep it as like if there is no requirement. So now
for the findings, it might be.
Findings might be, for example, if you are the data entry person, so you will enter like data so and so date and 11 hours 22 minutes 31 seconds. No. For example, if you are the data entry person, forget about the clinical. You assume general thing. Okay. So you are the person, you are entering something. Okay. So for example, you are entering the which to data, something like that. So which person is came which time? So as a person came at 11 o'clock, 21 minutes. That's fine. The 21 minutes, 32 seconds, you'll write. Then what is the point to keep it the seconds? So no one will write the seconds. Why? Because by entering seconds, it will change the very next step. If you type to enter 31, it will go to the 34, for example. Then what is the point to keep it the seconds? Okay. So in the clinical trial, the data not always enter the people. Okay. So not always they enter the people, but the most of the time they'll enter the people, data entry people, they'll do in the site level. But there are some particular things, okay? For example, ECG. So what happens? ECG will collect by using the ECG equipment, right? So what they will do, the automation, so the data automatically from the ECG system to system will take that. That's it, okay? So the system can track your seconds. Even milliseconds also they can track, right? So in that way, the system by default enter those so-and-so person, and then based on the ID, date and time and the minutes and the seconds. Okay, so it will come. If it's captured the seconds in your assessment date, then you will keep it. If there is, if it's a man-made enter and then there is no seconds, you can. That's fine. No need to enter the particular things. Okay. For that perspective, we have the complete data. Okay. So first of all, this will read as a server. Okay, I'm not sure. Let me try. No, it's okay. Okay, right. Yeah. How will go this session back? Oh, sorry. So I have been used 10 years back this version. So almost that's why we have the enterprise guide version that is entirely different. I think anybody used enterprise guide? Yeah, that is the shortcuts and everything entirely different. Okay, anyway. Okay, you need to click it here, right? Sorry. Okay, this one is, thank you. Okay, so yeah, so what happened actually in this study, I just checked in the morning. So there has been used many macros, okay, as well as the data set in the CSV format. In generally, the raw data set you don't get in the CSV format, you'll get the SAS format only. But in this study, I'm not sure why they have keep it like the CSV format, okay. So what I did in the I imported only a domain. So in the weekend, I will do import every domain and then create in the folder wise. I'll create the folder structure and everything. I'll explain the next Monday class or something like that. So for now, what you can do is that, okay, just practice the what I have given, the one-to-one mapping. So the later derivative part, everything we will discuss, okay. So today is, don't think in that way, today we are doing the AE, this is the programming. No, I am just giving the some basic things, okay. Fine. Okay, so when it comes to the real time, no need to write these lib name and the lib reference, these are the things. By default, you'll have the one setup program. Okay, called a setup program. So that program will write the lead usually. Your study lead means programming lead. Okay, so when you open the SAS, there are few organizations, when you open the SAS version, in the backend itself, it will assign automatically the libraries, everything. Okay, so based on the study part, backend. Okay. Automation it will be there. So there are some organizations when you open, you need to run the setup program, or else you need to call the setup program. Okay. So basically, when we write the macros, what we will do, we will run the macro. So that macro will be available for this session, or else we will invoke the macro, right? So when we invoke that macro particular session will be invoked, right? So the same way. So the setup program when we open by default depends company to company it will change, but the idea is that setup macro, it will assign all your libraries for the particular study. Okay, so once you open or once you run the setup program, so it will show the all libraries here. Okay, so these are the system defined libraries. Anyway, you will get the raw, SDTM, QC, and based on their naming convention, all the libraries will be open. Okay, fine. So now I just run for the AE. Okay, this is the AE data set. So the AE raw data set. what is the shortcut for this version to show? Okay, is this variable name or label names? One second. It's the variable form. Yes, yeah. It will find. Okay, अच्छा get values. Okay, so based on your okay, when you start the programming, first of all you will open this ACRF, okay, as well as your specification. The specification we have the programming note here for the each and every variable, you know, right? So for this specification you don't have, but where you wrote the programs by specification, that will have the programming note. Okay, so based on that, what you need to, you can start the one-to-one mapping. So the one-to-one mapping, for example, so this is the form status. They have actually there are few records, I guess it's having the missing records. Okay, so when they import the things, you'll get the some rows. So for that they have deleted these things. Okay, for example, let me run whether this will run or not. This will make it like, okay, so there are some very okay. So for this, what they did, so when we'll get the CSV files as a data, so when you import, obviously there are the some particular empty rows will be created. Okay, so for that perspective, they have the form status. When it's a 0, they have deleted. There is no requirement. So when, okay, for example, while importing the things, what you can take a precautions. If there are any CSV file you are importing, so what are the precautions you will take? How you will import the data CSV files?
Proc import and using the extensions.
The proc import. Okay. So what are the options you will use for the proc import? Okay. Out segment DDMS. Okay. What does the replace option? If you have same data set, that will be replaced. Okay. And then is there any options called sheet? So what it does?
It will import the specified Excel sheet which is mentioned.
Yeah, okay. So the range?
The required set of, to import the required set of the
My question is that what is the range option? A range statement, I guess, RN statement. In the proc import, we'll use the range, right? Can anyone try that? No, sir. You know, right?
If you require any specific, from row, if in Excel, like row 2 to the column to some specified rows and columns, if you want to import, we use the range.
Yeah, that's correct. Okay, someone in the call they said exactly. So when you are importing any Excel, so in the Excel you'll have the multiple sheets. Okay, you can name say the sheet name in the sheet statement. When it comes to the range in the Excel, if you want to import from the particular row and column to particular row and column, okay. So if any Excel, for example, if you want to import from here to here, okay, so it will show the range, right? 14R to 16. This we call the range. Okay, so when the data is available for these rows, then we can restrict to the range option, and then it will import always for the particular things. Okay, but when it's a fixed data and then there is no chance to update that file, then we can use the range option. Okay, it's a keep on updating the file means you cannot fix the range, but because you never know that for the next transfer how much records you are going to get. Okay, so that's fine. Anyway, so they have used like this, the empty rows they have deleted. Okay. Fine. So here they have created the A data set. I mean, these are the internet data set for the one-to-one mapping. First of all, they have given some renames. Okay, why they have renamed means, so you have the SDTM variables and the raw data set variables are the same name. Okay, so in the raw data set itself, your SDTM variables have the very same name, datum, ASN, ASN. So that's why what they did is that first they have changed the AESTDTC 1 is equal to AESTDTC. Okay, AESTDTC ni AESTDTC 1 గా rename చేసుకున్నారు. Okay, so this is they have used the rename option. You can use the rename statement as well. Okay, so when you are creating any intermediate data set, first of all you are going to create any new variable. You need to give the length for sure. Okay, so the length is important. Okay, why? Because if you don't give the length, it will take by default, or else it might be a chance to it will truncate. Okay, or else if it's a lengthy data, it will take the additional size for your data. Okay, so it is always good practice that you need to provide the length for the particular variables which you are going to create for the particular intermediate data set. Okay, the set obviously they have created the above in the intermediate data set. Okay, this is the one. Okay, so the domain is equal to AE, and then this is everyone knows. So when we are doing the programming of each and every variable, we can do 3 to 4 things. Okay, one is constant assign. Okay, constant assign means this is the kind of thing you are assigning some text as a constant. The A is the text and it's a constant. There is no change. So that is constant assign. And then you will assign. So assign means, for example, A is equal to B. You are assigning for the A variable equal to B, raw variable. Set obviously they have created the above in the intermediate data set. Okay, this is the one. Okay, so the domain is equal to AE, and then this is everyone knows. So when we are doing the programming of each and every variable, we can do 3 to 4 things. Okay, one is constant assign. Okay, constant assign means this is the kind of thing you are assigning some text as a constant. The A is the text and it's a constant. There is no change. So that is constant assign. And then you will assign. So assign means, for example, A is equal to B. You are assigning for the A variable equal to B, raw variable. That is the assign. So again, derived. So derived means you are doing some arithmetic operations to derive the particular variable. That is derivation. Okay, fine. So then again we are creating the AE cat. Okay, let me open this here. So it's a blank, right? Okay, fine. So this is the variable. Okay, so we have mapped to the AE cat, right? So for the AE cat, how we are mapping means, for example, if you see, so if strip of upcase of AE SOL YN equal to yes. Okay, so first of all what you need to check is that this is the raw variable name. Okay, this is the raw variable name, right? Okay, so or else you can check that straight away in the programming note. Okay, you'll be find that variable as well. So because that's the variable we have assigned. Okay, so based on the annotation, is the yes means it's solicited, and the no means unsolicited. So the same thing we are using. Okay, for example, while you're writing, check this annotation as well as your raw data set. Okay, why? Because it's important whether the variable name is the same or not, whether the variable having the values yes or y. So you need to check. So okay, so we are getting the AESOLYN. Okay, so when you are dealing with the character variables, remember that always based on the one value you are assigning something. Okay, these are the important things which you need to practice. Okay, so when you are assigning based on the one character to other, okay, always use strip. Okay, what does it mean strip? What is it? Okay, trailing and leading, right? So that is always when you are doing the character variable, always use the strip. Okay, and the upcase. Why is the upcase requirement? Mm-hmm. Right. So always the data, okay, data entry people, they now always not enter the same format. Sometimes they'll enter in the prop case, sometimes they will enter in the small case, sometimes in the low case. Okay. That's why while reading the data, you need to restrict the one case. That's why we'll use for the character variable strip of upcase of yes, then AE cat is equal to solicited adverse event. So this is the thing which we have already mentioned in the spec as well as the ACRF. So the wise, okay, and so again, else if, okay, what is the difference between if, else, else if? I mean, I know most of the people know, but it doesn't mean that everyone knows. So what is the difference between if, else? If something you want to do, you can use it. If. Then now tell me else and else if.
In first if case, it will check for the yes answer.
Mm-hmm.
Those will be removed while searching for the next. So second time search చేసేటప్పుడు only whatever left behind, it will search for the no. So in that filter is easy.
So basically how it will read, okay?
కండిషన్ కరెక్ట్ అయితే అది అవుట్పుట్ ఇస్తుంది సార్. లేకపోతే ఎల్సిఎఫ్ అంటే కింద కండిషన్ రైట్ అయితే కింద కండిషన్ ని ట్రూ గానే మనకి అవుట్పుట్ ఇచ్చేస్తుంది.
No, that's fine. I'm not talking about output. I'm just asking how does it work? That's the thing in the backend source in the PDB. Everyone knows the PDB, right? So how it works by each and every statement in the PDB. So that's my question, and I'll explain. Okay, this is straight away. So we are checking for the one thing. If it's this is equal to this, then we are doing this. Okay, else it means okay. It will check if this is equal to this means this variable is equal to no, and the variable is equal to not equal to yes. Okay, and we are using the else if. Okay, this condition true avali, the condition false avala. Okay, so for example ఇట్లా అంటే మనం ఒక పర్టికులర్ వాల్యూస్ చెక్ చేసి ఫస్ట్ ఏంటంటే ఇఫ్ దిస్ ఈజ్ ఈక్వల్ టు దిస్ దెన్ వీఆర్ డూయింగ్ దిస్. ఓకే, ఇఫ్ ఎల్స్ ఇఫ్ అన్నప్పుడు ఏంటంటే పై కండిషన్ కాకుండా ప్లస్ ఈ కండిషన్ ట్రూ అవ్వాలి. మళ్ళీ ఇంకో కండిషన్ ఎల్స్ ఇఫ్ అన్న వరకు ఈ కండిషన్ ట్రూ అవ్వాలి, పైన రెండు కండిషన్ ఫాల్స్ అవ్వాలి. సో అంటే ఏంటంటే ఇప్పుడు ఎస్ అనే నో అనే టూ రెస్పాన్సెస్, ఇది కాకపోతే ఇది అవుతుంది బేసిక్ ఆబ్వియస్ గా ఏదో ఒకటి అవుతుంది. అలాంటి కేసులో మనం ఏం చేస్తామంటే ఇఫ్ రాస్తామా ఎల్స్ కూడా రాసుకోవచ్చు. ఎల్స్ అని చెప్పేసి చెక్ చేయాల్సిన అవసరం కూడా లేదు. కానీ ఏంటంటే యాజ్ ఏ గుడ్ ప్రోగ్రామర్ యూ నెవర్ నో దట్ దేర్ మైట్ బి ఛాన్స్ టు మిస్సింగ్ వాల్యూస్. Okay, don't like in that way. Okay, so else if use chestam. So else is nothing but it's the first condition true kaakapothe irrespective of any value you are assigning as a second. So in that case we'll use the else. Okay, so these are the straightforward variables. Anyway, the item is equal to uppercase of strip of item and the SPID is equal to form. Okay, these are the things you already from the CRF as well as the specification you know. So in the program directly I think this is the some specific AES PIDs or these are the things from the sponsor related. For these don't no need to take any tension. So that will in the real time they will assign the as a particular sponsor related variables. Okay, okay, so then the AE out. Okay, the AE out variable here we have. Okay, this is the AE out variable. So if the AE outcome ongoing అయితే రిజాల్వ్ అయితే ఇదేంటి మనం డైరెక్ట్ 1-to-1 మ్యాప్ చేయకుండా వాల్యూ ఇదైతే ఇది అని చెప్పేసి అసైన్ చేస్తున్నాం మనం. ఓకే, సో ఎందుకు ఇట్లా అసైన్ చేస్తున్నాం, ఎక్కడ యూజ్ చేస్తున్నాం ఇది మనం code list. That's correct. Okay, so why? Because while doing the programming, so each and every variable you need to check that whether this variable is having the code list or not. Okay, so this is the variable, you'll have the out code list. Okay, so when you check the out code list, okay, you'll have the particular, these are the terms what is have shown right in the code list and everything. So what is your coded value, what is your decoded value. Okay, so okay, if it's a resolved means this is the standard text for the code list, resolved / recovered or / resolved. Okay, so if it's a not resolved means not resolved or not recovered. Okay, this is the thing. So the ongoing means okay, recovering or resolving. AE and RF. Okay, so they have assigned like AE and RF this relation. Why? Because for example AE outcome here they have anyway ongoing captured. So then the here also they have captured the adverse event is ongoing or not. So if it's a yes, the AE and RF is equal to ongoing. So వాళ్ళు ఏం చేశారంటే ఇక్కడ ఏంటంటే ఇక్కడ ongoing అయినప్పుడు to avoid the discrepancies they have chosen this variable. That's why. Okay, so it doesn't mean that okay in the annotations we use this one and then so in the both way anyway this is the ongoing means this is should also ongoing. It should not be any difference. If there is a difference, for example for the 101 subject it has a headache or any adverse event, nausea, headache, something. So here it is no and then here it is ongoing, outgoing. Obviously it's a data entry wrong. Why? Because the same subject, same adverse event you are saying here it is ongoing for the ongoing question no. Okay, when it comes to the outcome you are saying the ongoing. Right, it's a wrong. So these two are the both the same question, nothing but there is nothing to differentiate. Okay, that's why they have added here. Okay, they have added then to condition and then generated these two variables. Okay. I think this is a straightforward program everyone can understand. I don't think so need to explain each and every step for everyone, right? So okay, if there are any complex steps, I'll explain, no worries. Okay, so again for the fatal also fatal, okay, one-to-one mapping. These are the one-to-one mapping which we can check from the code list. Okay, so in the macro also code, when you open the code list, if you see, so these are the term values, these are the decode values. Decode values is nothing but it's captured on your CRM. Okay, these values. If you see, these are the values same here. So what is the term value means, which you are going to submit for the SDTM datasets. Okay, so you can straight away check from this. Okay, the variable equal to this, and then the value would be this. Okay, this the variable value equal to this, and then your SDTM variable value would be this. Okay, or else you can assign one format. Okay, you can create one format, and then this variable you can assign as a format. Okay, if then as for example, if you have the multiple conditions, then it is bit tough to add the if multiple statement, right? Or else you can create one direct format. You can assign that format to this variable. You know, right? Everyone how to create the format, value, in value, everything you know, right? So you can create one format. Okay, you can do. So some people while practicing the things, you can use the other way also. How we can assign the format and then how we can read it. Okay. So what is the format which we used here? The prop format only, how you will create. Is it the character to character or numeric to character, character to numeric? So the which of the statement you are using, in value or value. So that is the things which you can check. Okay. Again here AESN also the same thing. Okay. So for that also we have the code list. Okay, AESN code list. If you check here the AESN, this is the code list. This is the term values which you need to submit in the SDTM dataset. This is the decode values which comes from the CRF. Okay. So this is the one-to-one mapping, and then the rel is equal to so the rel1. Okay. This is the just constant assign, not constant assign, just assign. Okay. Already we have renamed the variables at the top, right? Okay. Here also they have A series. Okay. Values captured on yes, no, but we need to submit as the Y and N based on the your N by 4 list. So they have assigned like this, or else you can create one format and then assign. Across the study, you can use the same format. So why? Because this N by 4 list having the only 3 values. Yes, no, unknown. These are the 3. Okay, so this is the one thing, okay? The same thing, for example, here. Okay, so this is the variable is having the life threatening means A life equal to yes. This is the thing which you need to do. So here what they'll do, instead of doing the, for example, what they'll do, just they find the value from this thing, and then if yes, okay, so what does it mean, the find function, what it will do, find. Except to find whether we can use any other function here, only we can use the find. You can use the direct if and if then else. Okay, if this is equal to this value, then the AS light is equal to Y. That's fine. That's not an issue. But other than find, whether we can use other than if then else, we can use any other things. The find function only can do this operation. So you need to know the each and every thing in the different way. Okay. That's correct. So we can use the index function as well. Okay. So when you are finding something, you can use the combination of case as well. Okay. So basically nothing but the nested functions. You know, right? Nested functions. Okay. So the I is ignore case, I guess. Right? Find function. What is the delimiter? Not delimiter. Identifier. Right? Identifier. What it stands for? Ignore, I guess. These are the functions, very old function find, but the latest is index. This is a powerful thing, we can use the index function. Okay. So again, this is the AEST DTC1 equal to AEST DTC ISO. Okay. Basically they have at the starting they have used the ISO 8601 format macro. So that macro, it will convert it all to this one. Okay. So it will give the output variables like ASTDTC underscore ISO. So those variables we can assign as the ASTDTC1. Okay. Yeah.
ఇక్కడ కూడా నార్మల్ గా ఇఫ్ అకేషన్ స్ట్రిప్ ఆఫ్ ఏఎస్సి సిఆర్ఐస్ ఇస్ ఈక్వల్ లైఫ్ థ్రెటనింగ్ అట్లా అట్లా చేయొద్దా వై
చేసుకోవచ్చు. It's up to you. That's fine. That's what I said, right? You can use the find function, end of function, or if then else conditions. మీరు ఎట్లా చేసుకోవచ్చు, up to you. Okay. Then here it is that AENRF. Okay. Why they have used what is that AENRF or the AENRF? actually వేరియబుల్ ఒకసారి హైలైట్ చేస్తే మల్టిపుల్ టైమ్స్ హైలైట్ అవ్వదా? ఓకే సారీ. జనరల్ హెచ్హెచ్ వర్షన్ ఏంటంటే మనం ఒకసారి వేరియబుల్ హైలైట్ చేస్తే ఎక్కడెక్కడ వేరియబుల్ ఉంటే హైలైట్ అవుతుంది. అండ్ ఏఎన్ఆర్ఎఫ్ ఏంటంటే వీళ్ళు ఇది రాంగ్ యాక్చువల్లీ. మనం ఏంటంటే ఇదర్ మీరు ఒక దగ్గర క్రియేట్ చేయండి, ప్రోగ్రామ్ లో రాంగ్ క్రియేట్ చేశారు. ఇక్కడ ఏంటంటే ఆల్రెడీ ఇక్కడ మనకి ఏఎన్ఆర్ఎఫ్ ఇక్కడ క్రియేట్ చేశారు, ద సేమ్ ఇక్కడ కూడా యూజ్ చేశారు. దట్స్ రాంగ్ యాక్చువల్లీ. ఓకే. సో బట్ బేస్డ్ ఆన్ ద సిఆర్ఎఫ్ ఫౌండేషన్ యూ కెన్ కీప్ ఇట్ దిస్ వన్ ఓన్లీ. ఓకే. ఇక్కడ మనం ఎల్స్ వాడుకోవచ్చు, ఎల్స్ ఇఫ్ రిక్వైర్మెంట్ లేదు. ఓకేనా? ఎందుకంటే క్వశ్చన్స్ ని మనము అడ్వర్స్ ఈవెంట్ ఆన్ గోయింగ్ గా కాదా అని అడుగుతున్నాం. ఓకే. ఇఫ్ yes then only we can say adverse event is ongoing. Okay. So if no means or it's a missing means we never know. So that's why we can use the direct else. Or else we can do this thing also. No, then the NRF is equal to no. Then there is no point to create this variable. For example, if yes then it's ongoing. Then no need to write this condition. What is the point to write this condition? If you are assigning ongoing, that's fine. If you are not assigning anything, it's always anyway missing. Okay. So again, this is also the code. Okay, ENCONTRT in a variable undi kada. So adi kuda ikkada manaki endante code valise one-to-one mapping from that variable. Okay. So if I'll run this one, it will throw some errors. Why? Because we don't have the macros as well as the particular variables. Let me try. Okay. In general, ఏంటి అంటే నేను ఎవ్రీ స్టెప్ రన్ చేసి మీకు ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేస్తాను, డేటాను కూడా చూపించి. బట్ ఇక్కడ ఏంటంటే ఇంకా సెటప్ కంప్లీట్ అవ్వలేదు కాబట్టి ఇంకా రన్ అవ్వట్లేదు. సో నెక్స్ట్ క్లాస్కి ఏంటంటే మొత్తం మ్యాక్రోస్ సెర్చ్ చేసి చెప్తాను మీకు. ఓకే. Okay. So there has been 2 uninitialized nodes. Okay. First thing. So when you run the any data step or any particular program, what you will do? The very next thing is everyone check the log or they directly open the output. Everyone, even I also do the same, but actually you need to check the logs first. Okay. So why? Because now you are practicing the things, right? So you need to check if the program is run properly or not, is it throwing any error. If you see this is everything looks fine, but it's not. Why? Because you should not have any uninitialized nodes or any unwanted nodes or errors warnings in your log. Okay. So in the real time, what you can think is, okay, when I run this program, it will throw and then output is looking fine. Then what is the point to? Anyway, this is when I close this app session, it will not show, right? But in the real time, it's not. You will have the batch submission modes. When you batch submit the things, each and every log will be generated. It will store in one place, the study area, and you will have some macros. When you run that macros, it will fetch all the logs from the study. It will list out what is the unwanted errors, warnings, notes, each and every program wise it will keep. So this is the lead responsibility to do all these things. When you done the programming, when the lead is rerun these macros, it will flag the issues. Then he will come, so and so AE program is having these unwanted issues, notes and warnings, please clear it. Okay. When you releasing for the QC, once you done the SDTM AE programming, it's not done. You need to check the logs first. You need to check the output, it is generated properly or not. It's your responsibility. So just without error and without anything, its data set is done. It's not like that. You need to check all these things. Okay. So why? Because it's uninitialized. These are the variables comes from the macro. So we don't have macro in place now. That's why we are getting that. Okay. Anyway, so apart from those 2 variables, we will check. Oh, white library. Sorry, we are not in the white library. Okay, this is the AE one, right, which we create. Okay, if you see, this is the variable which we created, AE term, the AE cat, okay, and the AE SCR. Okay, these are the 5 variables. Okay, remember when you are done the things, you need to cross check yourself as well. If it's a no, these are the 5 variables should be blank. If it's a yes, either one of these 5 variables should be y. At least one variable should be y. So for example, this is the బెస్ట్ అబ్సెస్నెస్ ఉంది కదా. సో ఇక్కడికి వచ్చేసరికి ఏంటంటే ఇది వై అన్నాం. అంటే ఏంటి అంటే ఈ అడ్వర్స్ ఈవెంట్ అనేది సీరియస్ కాదంటే ఎస్ అన్నారు. బట్ సీరియస్ అన్నానికి 5 క్వశ్చన్స్ లో ఏదో ఒక దానికి ఎస్ చెప్పాలి. వాళ్ళకి ఏంటి ఈ హాస్పిటలైజేషన్ అంటే ఈ సీరియస్నెస్ వల్ల ఆ పర్టికులర్ సబ్జెక్ట్ ఏంటి అంటే హాస్పిటలైజేషన్ ఏంటి అని చెప్పేసి దాని మీనింగ్. ఓకే అగైన్ సో ఇట్ ఈస్ ద ఏసీఓఎన్టీఆర్టీ అంటే లైక్ మీ ట్రీట్మెంట్ కి రిలేటెడా కాదా అని చెప్పేసి అడుగుతున్నా. కాంకార్డెంట్ ట్రీట్మెంట్ రిలేటెడ్ కాంకార్డెంట్ ట్రీట్మెంట్ కాదని అడుగుతున్నా. ఎస్ నో. ఓకే సో ఇక్కడికి వచ్చేసరికి ఇంకేంటిదంటే రిలేషన్ ఈజ్ నథింగ్ బట్ యువర్ టెస్ట్ డ్రగ్. సో టెస్ట్ డ్రగ్ కి రిలేషన్ ఏమైనా ఉందా లేదా అని చెప్తున్నాం. సో ఇఫ్ ఇట్స్ రిలేటెడ్, నాట్ రిలేటెడ్, ప్రాబ్లీ, అన్లైక్లీ, ఇవన్నీ వాల్యూస్ మనకి వచ్చేస్తాయి. ఓకే సో ఇక్కడ ఏంటంటే యాక్షన్ టేకెన్, అడ్వర్స్ ఈవెంట్ వల్ల ఏమైనా యాక్షన్ తీసుకున్నారా అంటే సో డోస్ నాట్ చేంజ్డ్ అనేది రెస్పాన్స్ వచ్చింది. సో దిస్ ఇస్ ద స్పాన్సర్ ఐడి విచ్ వీ హ్యావ్ సెండ్ ఫ్రమ్ ద పర్టికులర్ రా వేరియబుల్ AE outcome and the severity, mild, moderate, severe and depression. Okay, so AE, ST, DTC and AE and DTC will be blank. Why? Because we have not used those macros. Okay, the next class I will set up these macros. We'll get all the things. Okay, the AE, NRF on go. Okay, so when the AE, NRF on go, your end date should be blank. Okay, now anyway it's a blank because we didn't use that one. Okay, okay, these are the direct raw variables. Okay, fine. So we have not used keep statement. Okay, so each and every step you need to check the logs and as well as your output, what you did, what you performed in this step, whether it is created correct output or not. Okay, you have did some of the things here. Okay, so we have created variables. So those are the variables whether it is created or not. Okay, so okay, so what I will do, what's the time? Coach 11:08. Okay, so what I will do, I will stop it today. Okay, in the next class, okay, I will set up these things and then we can run the each and every step. Okay, and then we will do. So what is this? So how many joins we have? Just name it. Anyway, 6 or 5 or 4 and okay. So what is the inner join? We have AB data sets. What is the inner join? Why you are writing? Okay. So what is the inner join output? What is the output it will give inner join? Okay.
Common data.
So okay. So this join we can do by using only SQL or else we can do in other way. Match statement. What if it's a rocket skill inner join? How will do in the match? Union is not a match, right? Okay.
So join set.
Okay. If A and B. Okay, what is the left join? What is the right join? Okay, so yeah, please practice all these things, okay? But everyone knows that's fine. If you doesn't know, so please practice these things, okay? So why? Because from the next class onwards, you need to practice each and everything, okay? So you need to write your code, okay? I will check individual codes, okay? Don't think in then I'll copy the program from here and then paste it over there. I'll rerun. First of all, it will problem for you only, okay? So you won't get any knowledge from that. You need to write each and every step by your own. Then only it will practice, okay? So when you are practicing things, do the practice properly. Okay, so I'll stop it until here only today. So the next class we will complete the AE program completely. So we will do the merging with the DM and then to populate the some study day variables and then the other derivations. Okay, so for the next class we will complete the complete AE program and then we will generate the data set and we'll see. Okay, so until you can practice the SAS as well as if you want to start, you can start from the AE 1-to-1 mapping. That is also fine. Okay, so కొంచెం గట్టిగా నాకు టేస్ట్ చేయము. నేను చెప్పిన స్టార్టింగ్ ఎస్డిటిఎం లో చేయము. ISO batch. अच्छा partial dates ఉంటే ISO 801 format కి ఎట్లా కన్వర్ట్ చేయాలో తెలియదా మీకు? Okay. So let me. I think మీకు ఒక క్లాస్ లో చెప్పినా అనుకుంటా కదా, చెప్పలేదా?
నో సార్.
ఐ రిమెంబర్ చెప్పినా. Okay, so basically you will get the UNK these kind of combinations, right? So whether it's a complete unknown or it's a date and the month and day is unknown, whether it is the only day is unknown. Okay, one second. Okay, so in this case basically your ISO 801 formatted how it looks like. Okay, okay, okay. So generally your date, complete date would be like this. Okay, so if the complete date is captured, then there is no problem, you can convert directly, or at least the complete date, even though it's not complete capture the time, that's fine. Okay, if you have the complete date and time, you will convert to like this. You will have only the, for example, date, complete date, there is no time. Okay, so in that case you will, okay, your date looks like this one. Okay, if you have the date and time, your ISO 601 date like this. If it's having only the only complete date, there is no time, then there is no point to show this the delimiter for the time. Okay, T stands for time. Okay, so it will, in the data itself, your date is captured as it like this. Okay, if the date is there and the month is there, then in that case what you will do is that, sorry, control should work over, control can. ఓకే, సో ఇప్పుడు ఈ డేట్ క్యాప్చర్ ఏం చేయాలి మనకు, దాన్ని ISO 801 ఫార్మాట్ లో ఎట్లా కన్వర్ట్ చేస్తామంటే దట్స్ ఇట్. ఓకే, యువర్ ఇయర్ అండ్ ది మంత్ ఈస్ క్యాప్చర్డ్. ఓకే, యూ నో డజంట్ నో ద డేట్ విచ్ ఈస్ UNK, సో జస్ట్ కీప్ ఇట్ until here only. This is also still ISO 8601 format for the partial dates. If your only year part is captured, so only year part is captured, then your date will be like this. Okay, if it's a complete unknown or missing, then the data changes. Okay, this is the rules which you need to do. Okay, which are only time, hours captured, not minutes captured. So in target. Okay, got it? Is there any question on this? Okay, so I have a there on part. The assumptions are explained by the doctor. Check it out. But only, so please check it. So is there any questions from anybody? The programming or ISO 801 format. Okay, just a basic step, don't worry, ఇంకా ప్రోగ్రామింగ్ మొత్తం ముందుంది, కంప్లీట్ రన్ చేసేసి ఈచ్ అండ్ ఎవ్రీ స్టెప్ చెప్పి చూపిస్తాను మీకు, రాపిస్తాను ఎవ్రీథింగ్ అనేది. ఓకే, సో ఆల్ అవుట్. ఇంకోటి ఏంటి అంటే మీరు ప్రోగ్రామింగ్ చేసేటప్పుడు మీరు జనరేట్ చేసిన స్పెక్స్ నే వాడండి, మీరు ఆండర్స్టాండ్ చేసిన స్పెక్, మీరు జనరేట్ చేసిన స్పెక్స్ వాడండి, ఇక్కడ ఉన్నాయి వాడకండి, సో దట్ మీకు ఒక క్లారిటీ అనేది ఉంటుంది. ఓకే, తప్పు చేసిన పని లేదని అవే వాడండి. ఓకే, okay, so I'll stop it here. Okay, if you don't have any questions, then yeah, we can close the class for today. Okay, then yeah, thank you everyone, bye bye. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.